Hi boys and girls, as I told you before, we're going to do some more doodles with PK. I'm PK and this is Walter. And Walter is not going to be doing any drawing today. Well, because you're going to be going back to your cage pretty soon, aren't you? Are you hungry? Okay, good. Don't bite. Walter likes to bite sometimes, but you shouldn't bite, should you? Okay, that's... Okay, I'm going to do some doodling, but first I think I'm going to put Walter back, okay? Is that okay if I put you back so you can eat? Okay, good. Okay, Walter, I'm going to put him back and then I'll be right back. Well, Walter's back in his cage. That's a good thing. I'm going to show you some of the doodles. This is a doodle bug right there. And I'm going to show you some of the other ones, and we'll decide which ones we're going to do today. That's kind of a strange looking fella. And this one here, Norton Numbers, Arnold Hairtail, and Frankie Longhand, and what else we got? Freddie Fried. These are all ones that I've made characters on, because when you doodle you can just put eyes on them, and when you put eyes on them you can make them into some kind of a character. And so we could do that, or we could do one of these doodles like this, or this type of thing, or this type of thing. And like I showed you last time, you can do a doodle like that and then you can color it all in too and really make it look interesting. But I think today what we'll do is a real doodle where you're making some different shapes and different things. And sometimes you don't know where you're going to go when you start. You just start the doodle and see where it goes. I like to do a lot of things like this. I'll just kind of come up and I start like that, and I'll make maybe some points or something like this. You can do it any way you want because it doesn't matter. It's your doodle. And let's say if I was going to do that, and I thought, you know what? I could just put an eye here, see, and make it look like some kind of an animal. And then I could put maybe some kind of a leg here, and some kind of a leg here, like it's running or something. Then off the tail, I could do some of these. They could be like feathers or something like that. Looks kind of like a weird kind of rooster or something. And roosters don't lay eggs, but if it wasn't a rooster, you could even make some eggs and stuff like that there. These are eggs, by the way. There you go. You can do all kinds of different things like that and make maybe something like that, like a fence. But when you're doodling, you can make all kinds of things all kinds of ways. Now, I'm just doing a doodle like I've done before, like these type of things. I just add all these things in. See, these were just lines with circles, and I made these, and then I made them into eyes, and then I ended up putting a nose there and making it into a character. But that wasn't originally going to be a character, but it just turned into one. And with this, we're just having some fun with it. So we're just having some creative ideas. You can come down like this, do whatever you want, like for making it look a little bit different. See, like this. Sometimes you don't really have a plan. That's kind of like a doodle. I think doodles really don't have a plan. You just kind of having fun and connecting the lines. When I start here and then go out and go around or do whatever I'm going to do, I have to make sure that I always come back to where it starts, like right there, and connect those. And I usually have a piece of paper like this, because sometimes if you're using ink or whatever and it starts to get, when you make a line, sometimes when you stop it makes like a mark there. Sometimes that's because you have excess ink there, so you just go like this sometimes and just make sure that there's no excess on there, which means too much ink. And then I can go back into here. Let's say I want to fill this area up. So I'm going to go in here and fill that area up so that it's not blank like that. And then I'll just go in here like this, and then go right back to where I started right there. And that's all connected. But you can see as you start to do this, it can get really, really full. And that's what you want. You want to fill up the whole drawing. And so you can go in here like that because you've already done that before and kind of complete it like that. Now if I wanted to, I could write a name in here and then bury it inside all this doodle, and then people have to go in there and find it. And I think I showed you some of those things before. Like this one here, it's colored in, but there's a name right in here, see? Right in here there's a name. And you can change it all kinds of ways. You could have a name that way, you can have a name this way, that way, and then make it all into a doodle and have people try to find it in there. Now, if I was going to do that, let's think of a name. Let's do Peter. I don't know. I don't know a Peter, but if I did know a Peter, then I would know one. That's pretty smart, eh? And I'm going to go like this, like this. It looks like I'm doing an E or something, but when I get up here, I'm going to make it into like a P. Then I'll go along like this, but I don't want it to look exactly like the letter P, so I'll change it a bit like that. But that's the letter P, see, up and around, that is a P, even though it doesn't look like one right there. And now I'm going to do the E, so I'm going to make it a little bit different too. But I'll make it more like this, and I'll go up and make a real big piece there, then go up and then just a little round one, and then I'll follow this around like this and then down. So that's kind of like a fancy E, P, E. Now I need a T, but I'm going to not, instead of doing it right in line, I think I'll do this one more like this. And this is going to be the T, so it's going to be kind of a different T. There's the letter T. P-E-T, and that's kind of on an angle, so it's going to make it a little harder for people to find, especially when you get this all finished. So now that I've done that, I can do the E up here, I can do the E on the side, or I can do it down at the bottom. I think today I'm going to do it down on the bottom. But you can do it wherever you want to do it. It doesn't really matter because this is yours. When you get yours done, it'll be your own design, the way that you like to do it. See, I'm making this one really different than the other E. So P, E, T, E. Now I need to do an R. I can do the R right inside here. I can do it down here. I can do it up here. Any way you want. But today I think it's going to be a little trickier if I can do it like this. So I'm going to try it like this. And go around like this. Now I'm doing the letter R, so now I have to go up, and I'm going to go around like this, and there, like that for the letter R. See, so now you can see I've got the letter P, E, T, E, and R. Now, that might even be hard to see now, and sometimes when I do drawings, I do all just black on a white paper or on a different color paper. This is like a cardboard, more of a cardboard paper, and it's a little bit heavier, but you see this is white and this is more beige. I like doing them on here because it's a little bit stronger paper, but this is showing you really well how it looks. Now, if I want to just do the word Peter, I can add another name, or I can put, let's say Peter lives in Camrose, or Peter lives in Edmonton or Calgary or Toronto or Hamilton, wherever. You can put, let's say Peter's from Hamilton. You can put Peter, then you can write in these kind of fancy letters Hamilton. Then let's say Peter likes his dog and his dog's name is Bob or something like that. So you can write Bob, and then he goes to school. Let's say he goes to school and the name is Clara Vista. You can write Clara Vista. And you can do all kinds of stuff like that relating to Peter and add that all in. But you want to make it kind of hard to find, because that's more fun when people are looking for something and they can't really find it and they know it's in there somewhere. So this is just another part of this doodle. But you can see as you start to change it, you can make smaller ones, bigger ones. And there again, I'm making a lot of these things. I like making those. I don't really know why, but I do. Like that. And then down here like this. And you get the idea. But then when you're finished, like I said, you can color these things. You can use markers. You can use pencil crayons. And you can color all these things and you get something that looks a little bit different. So right now I'm going to finish this off, and then, but we're going to see it in fast motion. So I'm going to let the camera keep going and not turn it off because I want you to see how this is done. But I'll speed it up, but you'll get the idea. And watch what happens when I add all these other things. That just shows you some of the ways that you can add all these things in. Then when you add the color in there, you can turn it around. You can add the color however you want. You can add more things if you say, well, I just need a little bit more. Be creative and just come up with an idea of how you want it to look. Just follow your pen. Let your pen do whatever it wants to do. You're in control of the pen. But sometimes when you're starting to draw, you get an idea like, oh, that would look good over there. Or that'd be a good way to do that. And it's hard because this is all freehand and there's no way to actually explain what to do. You have to just be creative and just do things that you think are fun. And sometimes it's fun drawing circles. Sometimes it's fun drawing these type of things. But you can do whatever you want and have fun doing it. So that's the creative part, and everybody has got some creativity in them. There you go, and that gives you an idea of what you can do. Now, as I told you, it's a little bit harder now. You know where it is, but a lot of people wouldn't. But it's harder to find where that name Peter is. But it's in there. And now we just put the colors and stuff on it, and when we add the colors to it, it looks really different. So I'm going to stop this right now for a second. I'm going to do the colors, then I'm going to turn the camera back on and let you see how it looks with all the colors on there. So I'll be back in just a second. I think I'll add just a little bit more here to complete it because it just seems like it needs something else down here to balance it off. Sometimes you'll find that when you're doing it, you just need something else because it's just not quite balanced. There's too much on one side, not enough on the other. So if I do it like that, it seems like there needs to be a little piece of something back here. So I'm just going to add a little piece of something back here, like this. A little different than the rest of everything, but that's okay. And then like this, like this, like this. And then come up in a circle. Let's make a heart kind of a thing there, yeah. Then up like this. Now I'll start to color. I like to go right to the edges on each of the lines, especially when they're really, really tight. You go down here like this on the edges, then you can fill in the rest, but you're going right to the edge inside here, right down, then back up, So then that way you can just fill in that side, and that way you don't go way out of the lines. Not too much anyway. So you can go down right inside there, because that's really a fine, sharp point there. Then go out on the edges and then just fill it in. Well, as you can see, I'm just about finished. Just have to do this little piece of green here, and then it is done and all colored. Instead of just having it black with the lines, which, like I said, you could do. You can just do it black with the lines, and that's fine. And it looks really good just like that without the color. But then when you add the color in, it makes it a lot different, doesn't it? A lot different. And as you can see, I did all of that name. There's a little spot I missed right there. I did that name. Remember the name, Peter? Just made up a name. Didn't make it up. I don't know a Peter, but P-E-T-E-R. There inside there. And if you wanted, you could do these all different colors too, like these colors. And it'd be really hard to find that name in there. And then, as you can see, if you look here, maybe we'll zoom in a little bit closer on the camera, and I'll show you. Sometimes when you're looking at these, you see little things. You don't have to do this, but you can. Right here, remember we did this because it kind of looked a little bit like a bird. So we got an eye there. But if you look up here, this looks like it could be some kind of a bird. And you could put an eye there too if you wanted. And then when I was doing it, I noticed that down here it looks like a dinosaur. See how it looks like a dinosaur there? So you could, if you wanted to, you could put an eye here. And it looks like there's some other kind of animal looking back at him. So you could put an eye here if you want. You can do whatever you want. And you could even put some little ears on him if you wanted to do that. Like that. And the dinosaur you could do different things with. You could do something with his tail. And up here, this looks like some kind of an animal or a snake or something. You could put a couple eyes on that. And so you could just have fun going around and seeing what kind of things that you see. And when you turn the paper, you'll see different things too. So anyways, that's one kind of doodle that you can do. And when you do this kind of a doodle, you can just be as creative as you want and have a lot of fun with it. So I hope you boys and girls had fun doing this doodle with PK. And I'm going to do a video sometime a little later about how to make some puppets. Not like Walter, but other puppets. Like really simple, easy puppets that you can do at home. And a lot of times you can get this stuff at the dollar store. So it's really, really easy and really cheap. So I hope you guys have a good afternoon or morning or evening whenever you're doing this. And just doodle and have fun and be creative. Because you guys are awesome. Bye guys. See you later.